Hi, and welcome to Wednesday Women series that we're starting today. Usually we do Wednesday Wisdom, where we'll do a bit of centering, breath work. Hey, oh, and Johanna is here, our guest today. Let me add her in. Perfecto. Hey, Catherine, I see you there. All right, let's see if it'll let her come in.
Hi!
It worked.
It
I never
did!
know. I never know if it's gonna work, and I'm like, oh my gosh. There's Johanna. Thank you so much for joining me today. I was just getting us
Hi.
kicked off here, and then I'm going to introduce you, my guest today, so that we can get started and have some girl chat time and get to talk a little bit about women who inspired us on our journey. So, as I was saying, Wednesday Wisdom is usually a bit of breath work, maybe a journal prompt, a topic discussion. But now we're going to pivot a bit, and it's going to be a series called Wednesday Women where we really chat about women's empowerment. And today I'm so excited. My first guest that I have is Johanna. And Johanna is my friend that is American, but living in Portugal right now. She does amazing wellness work. She was one of the people that popped right in my head. And as I was thinking like, oh, I could do this fun series. We could really, all of our chats that we talk about off camera, we can kind of share with our communities and give that discussion to everybody. So let's talk about first of all who you are and what you do and anything that like you'd love to share. I think at the end we'll talk about something you have coming up with your yoga nidra, but go ahead, introduce
Perfect.
yourself.
Okay, hi. Thank you so much, Rachel, for thinking of me and having me pop into your head. My name is Johanna Hessling. I am a yoga and meditation teacher. I am also almost a Reiki master, so I'm
Nice.
studying that right now, and a mobilization therapist. I'm based in the Algarve, which is in the south of Portugal, but I moved here from Brooklyn like 5.5 years ago. And I love living where I am. I'm at the beach. It's like I can see the beach from one window and the mountains from the other. And I do this full time. I'm also teaching future yoga teachers, aside from just like having my own private clients and working at a health and wellness 5-star resort that focuses basically on kind of relaxing and getting back to your center.
Love that. I find this, I always, it blows my mind because you and I were like such party girls together and we were like, I think our souls were always just looking for that deeper experience. And I think you and I have both really gotten into this wellness and stuff that really, I mean, for me, at least I speak for myself, was so I don't know, just exciting and that deeper kind of experience. But I love that our background has many sides to it on there. So, all right. Well, before we start, I think it's great to offer everybody. I mean, it's Wednesday. I know you're at the end of your day there in Portugal.
Hmm.
So it's like when we come into a place of wisdom, which is what we usually do on Wednesdays, it's like I have to offer people a way to like signal to their bodies to be here, to be present in this moment. Would you like to help us do that today,
Yeah,
Joanna?
absolutely. And meditation is something that I really thoroughly enjoy.
Okay.
So let's all who are joining us live, it's nice to see you and connect with you. Let's bring our feet down onto the floor and just start to feel that deeper connection and rooting down through the feet and also through your seat. You can close the eyes or take a soft gaze. And I just want you to start to take a few nice, natural, deep breaths in and out. Now, these breaths can be in and out through the nose. They can be in and out through the mouth or a combination of the two. Just to really start to engage with your breath and your body and find yourself centered in the present moment. And very much like Rachel mentioned, we are coming in from different time zones. It's closer to the end of my day here in Portugal and about lunchtime on the East Coast. And I want you all to take a moment and just set an intention, a Sankalpa, as we call it in Sanskrit, for a very small, easily achievable goal today. Whether it's to add something healthy to your lunch or a snack, or put up an Instagram post you've been waiting months to do and just build the courage to do it, or even go to bed a tiny bit earlier so that you're feeling well rested when you wake up tomorrow. And spend a few moments here with your Sankalpa, with your intention in mind. And say it 3 times to yourself. Allow this intention to take root inside your mind, inside your heart. Seeing it achieved by the end of your day. And then check in and see how you feel once this is achieved. Are you happy, relaxed, feeling a sense of reward? And take that beautiful feeling of completion, happiness, elatedness, and take a deep breath in with me. And as you exhale, release it through the mouth and slowly put it out into the universe as a seed that you know you will fulfill. Take another deep breath in. Exhale gently and cleanse through the mouth. One more deep breath in. And exhale to release. Returning back to your natural breath and opening your eyes.
That was so lovely. Thank you. I think even my voice changes after I have a like moment of resting.
Yeah.
Another personality comes in. It's crazy. Just kidding. Kidding. Okay. Well, thank you so much, Johanna, for that. I think it's so nice to hear somebody else's voice sometimes as we try things out and we experiment for different types of mindfulness that really connect with our bodies, and our minds and our spirits and our yoga and our life. So thank you for that. So we've done our intros, we've done our breath and our centering. So why Wednesday wisdom? So just briefly, I was going to share with everybody sort of the inspiration behind this is that I'm finding more and more in my coaching work and my connections with people that other women matter so much in our lives. If you don't have access to a women's circle, right? Like it's kind of like I never knew what I was missing until I was constantly going to some meditation groups and things like that. And in those circles, I don't know about you, but I hear so much about like growing up, not even just very young, but if you've grown up and you've been in a space where maybe it was a hard childhood or, you know, everybody kind of has their different places in life and then you go out into the world. Like I moved to New York City and I was posting the other day my first boss was really really challenging. If it was like if did you see Devil Wears Prada, like that boss, this was her
Mm-hmm.
100%. And but I learned, but I she always stays in my mind as this woman who did empower me to kind of really define what I wasn't going to be in my life, even in my corporate life when I was still in advertising. Like I knew the path could be different. And so that's my question that I have for my guests that are coming on here. So would you share with us, like, who are some women? They could be famous, they could be not famous, they could be very close, they could be positive, they could be no, 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 like that's what I don't want to do type of thing. Tell me yours, because we've never chatted this, so I'm
No,
excited to
that's
hear it too.
true. We never have. I mean, yeah, there's a lot of different things. So, I guess, I also have an advertising degree and I also lived in New York. So I totally know what you mean. And I'll never forget, I had a job interview once and it was for a magazine that I really enjoyed. Won't mention which one and won't mention when.
Mhm.
And actually, the woman who was interviewing me was so mean and so terrible and really just cut me down. And I was young. I mean, I was still like marketing assistant at one of the biggest magazines in the world. And she really made me feel small. And I left that interview thinking, I never want to be this woman. I do not ever want to behave like this woman. And I definitely do not want to work for this woman, even though the magazine was like super amazing. And when I got the rejection letter, it was like the world's greatest joy. You know what I mean? I was just like, oh my God, I do not need this job or this energy in my life. Right.
Right, right.
But if you want to talk about positive ones, like when I was a
Mhm.
little girl, and by the way, my sister is watching. I think she's still here. So hi, Mel. And I
New
think
Jersey.
Evie was watching also. So hi, Evie, if you're still here. But for me, it was my mom. So growing
Mhm.
up, my mom loves to dance. And it's just so nice because I've always loved to dance and it's because of her. And I dance all the time. It makes me so happy. And it makes me wonder if that also led to the choices I've now made to actually move my body. I move my body so much. I teach like 20 classes a week sometimes, it's pretty wild.
Mhm.
So it's just, it makes you feel good in your body. It's so positive. It's so happy. So that is one, definitely, like my mom is definitely a good like inspirational person for me. And to this day, like my mom still goes to the gym probably 6 days a week. Like my mom's
Wow.
obsessed. It's amazing. And she's in great shape. I mean, it's like the cutest thing ever. But also kind of along the lines of inspiration when it comes to more of the wellness stuff that I'm doing
Hmm.
now is my yoga mentor, Kathy. Kathy Dirks, like she's based in LA. She's originally from France, and she and I met when I was in yoga school almost 10 years ago. And it's funny because, you go to yoga school and you think about it and you're like, I'm just going to deepen my practice. I am, like a corporate person, right?
Yeah.
And I remember I graduated, and like a couple weeks after I graduated, she was like, listen, I'm on the subway, like on my way to Brooklyn. And she's like, listen, I'm really sick. I need you to come in and sub a class for me, a 75-minute class in Brooklyn. And I was like, I don't even have a 75-minute playlist. I don't know if I can put together a class. Like, 60 minutes is kind of a stretch. You want me to put together a 75-minute class? Oh my God. And I
Mm.
just got on with it. And my hands swelled up and I was so scared. And my hands would swell for the first 6 months that I was teaching, because you just have this like feeling that you're not good enough or you're not sure what you're doing. And it's like a whole thing. Oh my God. And so she threw me in the fire,
Mhm.
and then through experiences like that, I started building my confidence more and feeling more comfortable teaching. And then she also does yoga nidra, and
Mm.
she during the pandemic decided to do 2 25-hour uh,
Oh,
trainings,
right.
and I did both of them back to
Mhm.
back.
Mhm.
But 50 hours, and it was like the greatest way when we were all locked up
Mhm.
and couldn't go anywhere or do anything, and we were feeling the stress and anxiety and feeling trapped, to just escape through meditation and creativity and writing and just creating like alternate worlds that I shared with
Mhm.
people. And I do this now regularly. I do this twice a week at the hotel. I literally just wrapped up a session right before I joined you. And it was just magical. We talked forever after. People felt so good. And it just makes me feel so good,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah. Yeah. I love that. I think something I notice about mentors is how they see something in us we don't see in ourselves right away.
Mm-hmm.
The direct mentors that we have in our lives. And those are just like little angels put on this earth to just like keep us going and moved and fulfill our potential of what we need to be doing in this life, even if we just hadn't even considered it. So I
Mm-hmm.
love that story. That's so sweet. And I, by the way, I have had a nidra with Johanna and yoga nidra. I hadn't done it much before, but when I did it with you, I think I was like hypnotized. Like I was on another planet. There was something that, like I was here, you talked about my finger fourth thumb, and then I was gone. I was somewhere else. And then I came back, and you're like, I'd come back. I'm like, what happened? Where did we go? It's amazing. I really recommend that for everybody. Um, and your mom, I mean, of course, I mean, I'd probably be in trouble if I didn't, mom's awesome. Mom, of course, is the first, they're the first role models of our life, good or bad, whatever it is, like
Mm-hmm.
we see so much of ourselves in them. They see probably the same in us. And I think the moving the body thing is that it's like, what was that movie? What's that movie? Inside Out, with the Disney movie,
Mm-hmm.
the Pixar.
Yeah, yeah,
So
yeah.
the core memories of
Mm-hmm.
like the body movement and how much of that you use in your work now. That's just so exciting, and I love that. I mean, I feel like there's some people that are in our lives that are just naturally in our lives, and then some people we gravitate to
Mm-hmm.
as a role model. Like Beyonce is one of mine. I don't know why. Like it's like one of these, just watching her journey, not just as an artist, and I love her music and it's fun to dance to, but just seeing like her freedom to experiment. Like she did acting, she did what was that, Showgirl, not Showgirls, oh my gosh, what was the other movie? It was like,
Oh my
not
God, I
Showgirls.
can't remember what it's called either. Something Girls. I know what you're talking
If
about. Yes, I know what you're
anyone
talking about.
knows that movie, please put it in the chat. I will go crazy, or I'll have to
Yeah,
Google it
because I
later.
can't remember it either, but it's not Showgirls. Being in the same room with Beyonce is quite a force. When I did work in magazines and I lived in New York, I worked at Hearst for a really long time, and Beyonce was in front of me on the escalator heading down out of the building,
Mhm.
and I was just starstruck. I mean, I couldn't say anything to her. She was in front of me, so I wasn't going to touch her, or like scare her from
Yeah,
behind or whatever. But it was interesting to realize how small, like short. She wasn't as tall as I thought she was. I mean, she had really big heels on, but what a
yeah,
force! Like you could feel, even though she had her back to me, like you could just feel that energy, and it was so beautiful. And I was just
yeah.
like, oh my God, it feels so lovely to be in such an energy like force with her, because I was like
Mhm.
so close to her physically on that escalator. I said nothing, but
Yeah.
still, it was really, really
I, I
awesome.
I
Oh,
get that.
Dream Girls.
Dream Girls. Thank you.
Yes, it just came to me like Dream Girls.
Yes, the freedom to try it out. It wasn't her thing. It was like, I mean, she's a performer for sure, but I think
Mm-hmm.
drama, but that she had that courage. And I think, I mean, I don't know what you think about this, but like I feel like we look up to people that we see that we can have the potential. Like I'm not going to be Beyonce or do that, but like I love like just the flow of how she does things. Some people might really be inspired by a writer or Elizabeth Gilbert or somebody that is
Oh,
a
I've
little
met
more
her also.
introvert. That's funny.
Yeah, I met her also. I've met a lot of people in my life. I know that I live
Yeah.
in this tiny little sleepy corner of the world now, but through jobs that I was a Guinness World Records judge for four
Right.
years. So I've met presidents of countries. I've met a lot of people, but Elizabeth Gilbert I met at a book signing, and yes, she was such an inspiration for me. Even though I met her during not for Eat, Pray, Love, it was a book that she had written after, but she
Mm.
also wrote another book about dreams, like not dreams, but I have it on I've read parts of it. It's really about kind of tapping into your potential and
Is
kind
it
of,
Big
not to interrupt you.
Magic?
Yes. And that was really good.
It's one of,
Yes.
oh my gosh, it's here. I was
It's in my room. I'd have to run and get it, but I'm
I
trapped. Yes.
just was recommending this to a client about like, and I think she is another definite empowerment
Mm.
mentor of mine, because I do think that she's so free. She just kind of like, this is important. Don't stop being creative no matter what. Always explore what you want to do. I think that, man, we don't have enough of those messages
Yeah. Well, the
around.
takeaway for me, the big one from that book, because it was really good, is the fact that, there are so many thoughts, right? We have, I think it's 40,000 thoughts a
Mhm.
day. And when you think about that, it's insane, right?
Yeah.
But imagine you have a thought or an idea for something, and you have it in your mind, but there are billions of people on this planet. Somebody else on the other side of the world could have the same thought at the same time as you, or around the same time. And one person moves on it, and the other person doesn't move on it. And then that person writes that book that's been sitting in your head, for example, for the last 20 years. And that person becomes rich and famous, and now it's too late for you, because you had that thought, you let it fleeted,
Mhm.
and it went into somebody else had that thought, and then that's it. And it's kind of scary because you're like, oh, I don't want to think that I have this thought, and all of a sudden it's going to disappear. But it kind of makes, it's kind of in the empowerment vein. It makes you put a fire under your bum
Yeah.
and say, okay, I have this thought and this idea. Let me put some legs behind it. Let me give it some. Let me give it something to do. Let's explore it. Let's
Mhm.
do something with it.
I agree. I think it's like if I can just give this some attention and keep giving, nurture it like a little baby,
Yeah.
and continue, even like if whatever your dream is to do
Mhm.
initially as a side hustle type of thing, and or this great invention idea that you want to bring to market in some ways,
Mhm.
there can be, like you said, like that anxiety around like if I don't move on this, and if that's okay, I mean, I think that's good, but I also think like as long as you have micro attention moments and you're just it's like slowly moving it ahead.
Mhm.
But yeah, Elizabeth Gilbert scared me too. I was like, oh gosh, this is just going to be gone. And but it was still kind of a beautiful story because I think like at the base she was talking how creative inspiration is like a living thing,
Mhm.
and it needs your attention. It wants to know, if do you want me do you want to be the one to create me
Mhm.
or not? And if not, it's all right, I got to come out into the world, and that's okay. And then she had other things and the projects kind of can go to the side, but I like that permission. But you're right, it keeps me focused a little bit to
Yeah.
be like, do you want to do this or not?
Yeah,
Do
and
you
you
want
keep
to?
feeding it, even if you feed it little bits. Like imagine you have an idea and you're like, okay, I'm going to do some research, and
Yeah.
maybe one day you ask it a question like, okay, is this, and then that kind of catapults. I mean, it's funny. Like I woke up at 4:58 this morning and I taught 5 classes, and I still and I'm doing this now with you,
Mm-hmm.
right? And I also gave my fiance a treatment, like a full hour and 15-minute body treatment from the
Mm-hmm.
toes all the way up to his head. Okay. And I
Yes.
had lunch. So I've been nonstop all day. But it's still, oh God, I lost my train of thought. What was I gonna say? Oh yeah, but I still managed after I got
Mhm.
home to send out a newsletter, just like a really quick newsletter. Took, found a photo, put a couple sentences together, reminded people of the event I have on Sunday, because I just wanted to, get it going. And it doesn't take that long. And if you actually think about some of the stuff that you want to get done, if you
Mhm.
just pump like a couple minutes into something. I mean, I produced an email that maybe would take me sometimes, oh, I don't know, a couple months to write. I don't know why am I sitting on it for so long. And I just popped it off and sent it. And I even said, like, come check out the live now. And then I
It's
created a tiny video to
yeah.
promote this live, and I posted it like 10 seconds before I joined you,
Oh,
which
nice.
is why
That's great.
I
I
think my
know.
sister
It's
phoned me.
weird. Where do we get this energy in these moments where all of a sudden, because I think also, especially for people, and I do have a lot of people in here that are kind of entrepreneurs or coaches or other people like that, that um we miss that structure and that like the boss over our shoulder type of, I don't miss it, but I mean, I think that that was a lot of my motivation maybe other times. And now we have this passion for something, so we're doing it. It's just different. I think we have a
Mm-hmm.
different types of ways that we get inspired to like get shit done, type of thing. So
Yes.
basically.
No, it's true. It's absolutely true. Yeah, and exactly. Like sometimes you do feel like you need someone to push you or get you to do something or
Mhm.
whatever. But then other times it just happens. And so it's kind of like going back to the Elizabeth Gilbert. It's like
Mhm.
feeding that desire to fulfill something, even if it's something tiny. Like that's why I said at the beginning when I did the meditation, like, let's find a sankalpa, an
Mhm.
intention that is something that you can fulfill very easily today in a few
Mhm.
moments, a few breaths, or a few minutes.
Yeah.
And it's just a quick decision that you make, which, again, can become something that becomes permanent, can become,
Mhm.
connecting with a new person. There's a lot of energies in the world. And especially today, they say people would come in and out of your lives today. And it's
Mhm.
kind of wild. And I kind of threw that into the newsletter.
That's true.
But it's interesting, to see where things go. And so you can just make that quick decision and do it.
Yeah.
Feed into Elizabeth Gilbert's MO. You
Well,
know what I mean? It's
that's my next question I have for you too. Is like, so Elizabeth Gilbert, we've got a Beyonce, we've got our moms, bosses. My other question is like, what do you feel are the top traits that empower other women? Like, what are the things, the qualities of somebody? Like for me, I would say like a leader, you know, somebody that really has had experience and can bring that into their oh, I'm gonna thumbs up. Bring that into
Oh, no, that's
their mindset of what they like. So what do you think are some qualities for that?
well, let's see. I mean, for me, it's like, I think it's, you know, we all kind of play in an arena of, not always, but sometimes, and we've talked about this before, imposter syndrome,
Yeah.
where you get so caught up in, okay, yeah, we're talking about, you know, Beyonce, we're talking about our moms, we're talking about other women that empower us. But if we live in that shadow and kind of feed into the imposter syndrome, you know, and stop, you know, don't really get out of it, and you kind of get stuck in it, I feel like it's really fun to be able to just give yourself, like we say in Spanish, darte tu puesto, meaning that you give yourself importance, you realize
Mm-hmm.
that everybody's equal, and you're, I mean, yeah, you're not Beyonce, I'm not Beyonce, but what makes us different from Beyonce? We're both women, right? We're both empowered, we both are living our dreams, we're both doing things that make us happy, you know what I
Mm-hmm.
mean? And so I think that's, I think it's important to kind of try to dig yourself out of it. Self-confidence, you know, having self-confidence, being a strong person, in your relationships, being a strong person, in your physical body. For me, it's important, right? From one of my mentors.
Mm-hmm.
But you know, I mean, those are some of the, I enjoy loyalty, in an
Mm-hmm.
empowered woman. I enjoy the truth and honesty. So, you know, those are some of the things that I definitely enjoy. And I look up to, in other people, in my friends as well, you know, people that you, the company that you keep, and,
Mm-hmm.
you
What
know,
about your yoga mentor? What were some of her qualities that you
oh my God.
really
Well,
connected with?
the fact that she just threw me on the fire and was like, "You got this, do it." Like, I
Yeah.
trust you, and I trust you, right? Because it's not like she was like, "Do this," and then, you know, months later, she moved to another part of the city, and she was teaching a
Mm-hmm.
class in Brooklyn, and she, not the one I subbed,
Mm-hmm.
but she was like, "Listen, I'm gonna leave. I've been teaching this class for 6 years. I think you have what it takes to do this." And I did. I taught it for a year, and then the studio closed while I was in Portugal on vacation. She also, and I ended up teaching at that studio that I subbed at that one time for a couple of years after, because it was also one of the places she was teaching
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
regularly. So in some ways, it's like, not that I replaced her, but I was recommended by her, and I worked at both of these places until I moved, really. And it was opportunities that she gave me because she was just like, "You've got this." And I was like, "Yeah, but I graduated 5 minutes ago." She's like, "Yeah, but you got this, girl."
Mm-hmm.
You know, and it was
Yeah.
so inspiring for her to have so much like faith and trust in me and be like so strong and behind me. And you know, it was amazing. And to this day we're still in contact. She actually messaged me right before I joined,
Oh,
and
how
because I
funny.
she did a workshop on Sunday, and I love her workshops,
Yeah.
right? But I couldn't join because she's in California and it started at 11 p.m.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So, I mean, sometimes it's tricky because of the time difference, but she does a couple of sessions a week. I think on Friday I might like take a nap, a disco nap, and at 8 p.m. so I can join her at 11. We'll see. And
Yeah.
but it's I mean, you know, it's wonderful, and it's wonderful when someone feels that strongly about you and what you bring,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Because really recently, I don't remember who said it or what it was, but it's like we all have a gift, right? We all have a gift. Everybody on this planet has a gift. And it's about learning to realize what your gift is and then tapping into it
Mm-hmm.
and sharing it. Because imagine, even if you and I had the exact same business, we would never reach the same people. You and I are different people. We've lived different experiences. We
Mm-hmm.
bring different things to the table. We're both strong women, and we run our shit, but at the same time we have different perspectives and experiences, and we would never have the same experience with the same people ever, even if we did the same ever, ever.
Yeah, I think I totally get what you're saying. It's like the great women that are empowering. First, of course, we know they're human and they're not perfect, but I can see that like we see the traits in them that we can really cultivate in ourselves. And when they're the ones that bring us up, it inspires me to like bring up other women. I have like coach friends that are just starting out. I'm like, we could, yeah, let's just have a call and like
Mm-hmm.
talk about like some of the things that maybe you can avoid for 30 minutes and or keep going through and kind of flushing that out. But I think that's so important, and for us to just keep lifting each other up. Like you are absolutely one of the empowered women that I look up to too, because I think, you know, it's brave. It's brave moving to Portugal and just having adventures and you know, even when things aren't working out, I know we've shared a few times and we just get back up, we try something else, we do this new thing. I mean, that I don't think we can do that alone. Like I just don't. I don't think we're meant to. And I love our chats, and this chat just like this was like so sweet. I know we're running out of our time for today, but before we start to wrap up, I know you have something coming out Sunday, right? You have a Nidra. Like please share with us how to find you, what you have coming up.
Yeah, thanks you. Yeah, I'm actually doing an online yoga nidra session. It's a workshop.
Hmm.
It is from 8 p.m. to 9:30 p.m. London, Lisbon time. So
Okay.
what that means is if you want to join me from New York or from New Jersey where you are, then you can join me at 3 p.m. So it's 3 to 4:30. And if you're on the West Coast, so in California, LA, San Francisco, that side of the world, you can join me from noon until 1:30.
Oh,
Okay.
great.
So yeah. And so it's a 90-minute thing. You can do it from your bed.
Yep.
I mean, you can do it on the mat,
You
on
want
the
to do it
floor,
from
on
your
the
bed. It's so
couch. You can do
amazing.
it from
So good.
anywhere you want, because even if you fall asleep, it doesn't matter,
Mm-hmm.
right? I mean, you could easily fall asleep. I mean, yoga nidra is also called yogic sleep.
Mm-hmm.
The focus of it will be, to kind of cleanse and awaken, like spring awakening. We've had a lot of energies and the lunar eclipse and all of these things happening in April. So it's a really good time for us to take some time out, an hour and a half, to gently move and breathe, and then really just kind of listen and maybe fall asleep, maybe not, but at least kick off your rest and digest part of your nervous system and kind of, you know, put away the fight or flight, especially on a
Oh,
Sunday,
Sunday, yeah.
Sunday afternoon or Sunday evening, depending on
Mm.
where you are in the world. I have a newsletter that you can join.
Oh yeah.
Text me or
I'll
message me
put
through
them in the I'll
Instagram.
put them in the
Yeah.
description of this too. I'll put your website. Is that a good
My
place to put them?
website, you can do my email address, and then I also I'm very active on Instagram,
Okay.
so I'm always posting things on Instagram. But yeah, I mean, I send a newsletter pretty regularly, and after the experience I had right before this call, let me tell you something, that's going to become a lot easier and more fun for me to do going forward. But yeah, I mean, if you don't really know what yoga nidra is, it's basically just a guided meditation that allows your subconscious mind and conscious
Mm.
minds to meet. And so it's a really, really sweet space. It's equivalent to 6 times the amount of restful sleep. So if you were to do it for an hour, it's equivalent to 6 times, 6 hours of restful sleep. It's good for people who suffer from anxiety, people who suffer
Mm.
from any kind of pain or tension in the body. It's really good for reducing blood pressure. It's good for slowing down the heart rate and reducing the production of cortisol, which is the stress hormone inside our bodies that we can't get away from. It's really good for
That's what
insomnia.
I was just gonna ask. I feel like that would be great for that.
It's good for fear. It's also really good, which people don't think about, but it's really, really good if you are studying, like if
Mm.
you're in school, or you're learning a new language, because it helps you to retain information.
My gosh,
It taps
I need that.
into that part of the brain, and it's absolutely wild.
Wow.
There's always music. It'll be very chill environment.
Well, this sounds
And
great.
so yeah, I'm doing that on Sunday, and there is a price for it.
Mhm.
I don't know, should I say the price on the
Oh yeah, go
live?
ahead. Yeah.
20 euros,
Mhm.
but I guess 20 euros in the United States is different.
It's like
um, you
$22
would
or
have, it's
something.
probably like $22, yeah.
But that
And
info will be on your email or your website. They'll
it's
have a
usually,
place
I
they can
usually
get.
put that in the
Okay.
newsletter.
So
Yeah.
they can reach out. Yeah,
Yeah.
highly recommend Yoga Nidra. Like for anybody that hasn't done it, I don't do it as enough. I'm going to do it because I have a test coming up soon for a certification. I'm like, man, I should try this. I should try it. Yeah, highly recommend. This is something to incorporate. It's not like yoga. It's not asanas where you're moving your body. You are really experiencing this really deep meditation. And Joanna is just amazing at offering that. So thank you so much. Again, this was an amazing conversation. I had so much fun
I
and it
know.
was so great like learning a little more about you and like, you know, some of the people that have inspired you over the years. It's a beautiful thing to learn that we're not alone. You're like, we all have these different experiences and these different impacts, these inputs that come into our lives, and probably more to come. We'll have more role models of empowerment women in the future, hopefully, if we're just seeking them out, I guess, or it just happens naturally. I don't know.
Start coming through. I want to say hi to
Yeah.
my Kirsten. Hi, Kirsten. I see you.
Hey. Thanks for joining us.
Thank
And
you.
I'm going to go ahead and save this so anybody who's missed the beginning of this, you can go back, and I'm pretty sure it will tag on Joanna's page and or connect in some way. We'll make sure to get that. So if you want to really hear a little more about Joanna's empowerment background and all the work she's doing in Nidra, so come back and we'll link that to be shared later.
Okay.
All right. Well,
All right.
thanks, Joanna, and we will see you soon. Bye.
Thank you. Thanks, everyone. Bye.
Bye.